welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Zed. Today I'm going to be talking once more about HCMC, Healthier Choices MGT Core. This is an updated video from my last video. If you would like to watch my previous video, you'll find it in the description below. Make sure to drop a like to this video to help this channel grow, subscribe, and leave notifications on. And let's jump right into this one. So HCMC did go on previously with their lawsuit. Now, it doesn't look like there is any recent updates from my last video regarding their lawsuit, or at least none that I could find, generally speaking. But there is some really bullish due diligence updates, especially the addition of the HCMC intellectual property holdings. Now, this is even just added into here. Previously, it was just Healthy Choices Markets and the vape stores. Now they also have the intellectual property subsidiary under there. From there, we can also find a list of all the patents that could actually be found there. And moving on, you get to see, once you click on that, you can get to see the list of the intellectual property patents right on here. And this includes the Q Cup trademark, which is a brand vape material containers. And that's a patent in the US. I think all of these are generally in the US. Yep. The next one is the QWIC and the QWIC-G, QWIC-T and QWIC-G, brand heating devices, mouthpieces related to vape hardware components, and the e-liquid based electronic cigarettes, including disposable, rechargeable, non-fillable, and refillable electronic cigarettes, all cartridges, all cartomizers, all electric cigarettes batteries and battery assemblies, all electronic cigarettes coils or atomizers, all chargers for electrical cigarettes, and any e-liquids sold in electronic cigarette kits. Now, the recent lawsuit I was actually talking about was regarding one of their intellectual properties, mainly speaking the e-liquid based electronic cigarettes. Now, next on this is some of the actual news that we've received recently here. The latest one includes a $5 million sale of preferred shares at 150% premium to the company's last closing price. The next one after was HCMC announces formation of the intellectual property holding subsidiary. That was back in December, and that was what I was referring to. Healthier Choices Management Corp files patent infringement lawsuit against Philip Morris. And this is the one I'm actually referring to as well for the lawsuit. I still don't see any recent updates that other than just speculations since my last video. Now, HCMC announces a sale of $5 million. That is actually closing up, or that was actually based on the last market price on February 5th, on Friday. And that, generally speaking, is a bullish thing because they're selling stocks at 150% higher than the actual price. Well, last closing price. The price has moved, of course. Now, the infringement for the lawsuit is actually asking for more of compensation there and pulling up from their markets to leave perhaps a gap that HCMC can cover in from Philip Morris. Now, electronic circuits aren't that popular right now. They are more off in the vape section right now, which this one also has some patents regarding that as well. Now, the formation of the intellectual property, we can expect that perhaps there's going to be some more funding towards that subsidiary, and they're going to be more focusing on collecting IPs and selling them. Now, on the 8K form that was just recent, this is regarding the offering related to the $2 million. Next. This is the recent SEC filings, and we get to see the only recent one was on February 8th, 2021. I just covered that related to the offering. And from there, we get to see from $2.5 million PIPE financing plus $5 million, around $7.5 million. Their net income is around, I would say they burn on average around $800,000 per quarter. Balance sheet wise, you get to see that they do have a little bit of cash left. Not sufficient enough, generally speaking, but with their addition of the cash right now, they have 612 with the addition of 7.5. You're looking somewhere around almost north of $8.1 million. And their current total assets is around 14.3. Their total liabilities is 11.19. So technically, they can really wipe off a lot of their total debt, or a lot of their long-term debts, or even their just total current debts easily with that 7 or $8.1 million north cash. Now, income statements, looking into the previous revenues have been a little bit still, especially in the last quarters. The net income as well has been somewhat stable. Now from 2019 start somewhere around last year to the end of September, that has increased by 300% in terms of their spending. So that might be concerning, but it's still interesting to see their next quarter. Now, before going on towards the technical analysis, please make sure to actually subscribe and leave notifications on. It helps my placing algorithms a bunch, more than you can even imagine. Now, on a 1 week perspective, on the technical analysis part, we get to see that the ADX is a little bit overextended, but nothing to worry about there. That indicator is actually not working properly in this time frame. Now, momentum-wise, it looks alright. Willing percent R shows it's a bit overbought, but MACD looks really strong. Moving averages are fully bullish in that sense that 10 SMA is above 30 EMA, 50 SMA is above 200 SMA. We get a better perspective on the 1 day perspective. Now we get to see here ADX is the same thing. We don't need to worry about that. Willing percent R is a bit overbought here. Momentum looks really good. MACD looks really bullish. Generally speaking, it's been increasing. 10 SMA is over 30 EMA, and that's an amazing thing. And 50 SMA is above the 200 SMA. That's amazing. Now, the trading action zone is between 0.002 and 0.0012. So you can expect bullish reversal in this range. Now, on a 2-hour perspective, what we get to see here is that your MACD is getting a little bit off accumulation or not really seeing anything interesting. Momentum looks alright. It's still somewhat generally positive. And then you got your willing percent R showing a bit overbought. Now, out of all this, the most interesting thing is your moving averages. Your 10 SMA is above the 30 EMA, and the price point is above the 50 SMA. Now, the trading action zone is vast, and the 10 SMA line has been acting like a support line or a trend line for the price points. Now, your current trading action zone where positive reversals are most likely is between 0.0039 and 0.0029. What we get to see here is basically that the price point is continuously refusing dropping below the 10 SMA, the green line, which is good. The moving average band isn't showing much, it's showing it's increasing, it's going on parabolic, that's actually good. Stochastic fast and stochastic slow are both showing there is a potential for another leg up for this one. Now next, this is the channel that I drew before. I will go towards the updated trend in a second, but before doing so, let's quickly go towards the Fibonacci retracements and then supports and resistances. The current support is sitting at 0.0039, 0.0031, 0.0025, and 0.0019, followed by 0.0012. Significant resistance sits at 0.005. Now, if we were to use just price line actions, just something normal stuff here. Price line action sits at current support at 0.0040. Following that, you're looking at 0.0038, 0.0034, 0.0026, 0.0018, 0.0015, 0.0012, and then down to 0.006. Significant resistance sits at 0.0044, followed by 0.0046. Now, the big important thing about this one is that ascending triangle is actually formed. As long as it stays above this trend line, we're solid. We can expect for it to actually break through here, and that's an amazing thing. Comes to the question to Ed, what do you think about this one? OTC has been hot for a good amount of time, and I do definitely think that HCMC will probably see newer highs. It's a little bit higher risk associated with OTCs, but definitely I do think that we probably will see a really nice jump from here on. What do you think about this ticker? Make sure to put down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like. Have a wonderful day.